Thinking about making some modifications to your kayak and not sure if it's the right choice? Well, I've made a ton of modifications to my fishing kayak over the years, and some of them were fails, which I want to share with you and save you maybe some time, some money. All right, let's get this wall of shame kicked off with 3D printed seat risers. So I moved forward with this modification because I wanted to lift the seat up a little bit so I didn't drop too far down, and also I wanted to get some under the seat storage. I loved it for a couple years, but recently I ran into a problem. All right, so I was going back and forth in this mod and wasn't sure if I was supposed to share it with you. It's more of a warning. So I'm not sure if I wouldn't do it again, but what happened was I developed a crack at the base of my 3D printed seat risers, and I'm not quite sure if it was because of the seat risers and it put just pressure in a place where it wasn't designed, or I fell back too hard. It didn't matter if it's my seat risers or the kind of stock seat post that sits there, or if it simply was the plastic was too thin in the roto-molded process that Native creates their kayaks with. I'm not sure, but something to keep in mind. I developed a crack. It was a pain in the butt. I actually got a video on how to fix a crack in your kayak. Pain in the rear, if you're ever gonna try to do it, but I'll show you how to do it if you're interested. I'll put that video in the description below, but nonetheless, a word of caution. Modification number 2, I actually ran LED lights on my kayak, which I love those, and how I ran them is I ran them on the outside and they were green, which are just awesome because I remember getting up really early in the morning, all these bait fish are being attracted to the green LED light, and boom, I started seeing bass to smash left and right at my kayak. So that was fun. The mistake was I actually ran those LED lights to the inside of my kayak. I was thinking, oh yeah, I want to be able to see at night. Well, the problem with that is that it was blinding. When you're out there in the middle of the night or early in the morning and you flick those lights on, I couldn't see anything. And so I actually had to cover them up with tape. And so what I would have done differently is either have 2 switches, one for the lights on the inside and one for the lights on the outside, or simply not put lights on the inside of my kayak at all. Or you might be blinded by the light. Blinded by the light. Another mistake, me trying to sing on camera. All right, moving on. Rudder extension. Well, I don't have a video on this one. I actually created it, which is great because mine just broke, and let me tell you why. The reason I put on a rudder extension is because I wanted my kayak to turn faster. Here's the issue. With the extra rudder extension, you're putting a lot more torque on that rudder control, and it wasn't made or designed for that. Especially in the Native Slayer kayaks for my 2018, it's just plastic, and they're known to snap anyways, so with that extra torque I'm putting on it, I'm not doing myself any favors. Problem number 2. Native didn't design it to have an extra 5 inches of extra rudder on there. It wasn't engineered for that. And the problem is, whenever I'm pulling this thing, sometimes I like to go, you know, I'm on a pond and I want to go to the pond behind that, and I want to go to the pond behind that, and I got to go over beaver dams in order to get there. Well, as I'm dragging my kayak and have this extra long extended rudder, well, when I'm pulling the back end over the beaver dam, that a lot of times catches, and that's actually the reason why it's broken today. So if you're thinking about a rudder extension, something to think about, and I know all kayaks are a bit different, so you might not have that issue. All right, please tell me in the comments below, what is the worst DIY kayak modification you made and why? I cannot wait to read these. Kayak mod number 4 is attaching my fish finder to a 12-volt battery that I just got off Amazon. Now, I'm pretty handy, and I'm kind of one of those guys who's like, hey, anything can be learned, especially with YouTube. So although it is possible to run your fish finder batteries and create a connection and solder them together and kind of clip them on your 12-volt battery, it actually made a complete mess in my hatch, and probably also because I didn't cover them with shrink tubing, ended up corroding, and half the time it worked and half the time it wouldn't work. So this past year I actually switched over and bought a Naqua Pro battery kit. The thing has, I think, 10 or 12 amp hours, and I can go an entire weekend on this small little battery. And the beauty of it is that the connection is actually a waterproof connection, so I can leave it in my hatch. It gets a lot of moisture in there, and I don't have to worry about it. And I can fish for days without having to charge this bad boy, which I'm a big fan of. So big fan of that. If you're interested, I'll throw the links in the description below. Tip number 5, I actually was about this close, so this one's kind of a cheat, this close to actually doing this modification, and I thought to myself, this is the dumbest thing. What am I doing? And I stopped. And so it has to do with the keel guard, and a lot of guys out there, you see a ton of videos. Oh, you can create a Gorilla Tape keel guard, and I had the Gorilla Tape. I bought it. My kayak was turned over, and I was like, this is dumb. The second I hit a rock, or the second I kind of put that on the cheese grater of a boat ram, this thing is going to rip off, and I'm just going to have all this stickiness that I'm going to have to remove from my kayak. Keep your expensive Gorilla Tape for something that's actually useful. What I end up doing is going back to my computer and doing some research and coming up with the best DIY keel guard. In fact, I got 2 DIY modifications that I actually love. One of them is right here. It is a DIY keel guard. It's Kydex. It's awesome. The other one is the kayak crate with 6 rod holders with a bungee top. If you're interested in those, click those. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'll see ya. Bye.